on some of the things that this organisation and administration has done over the last financial year. And you will recall, of course, that at the start of the financial year, following the elections, we set out 5 priorities for the organisation. You should all have them absolutely ingrained in your mind by now. And if you don't, I don't know where you've been for the last year. Because, of course, there is great proof that on all 5 of those things we have delivered. And I will start by saying, and I cast my mind back to the June and July Cabinet meetings when I was asked about these 5 priorities and told, of course, that they were over-ambitious and undeliverable. But nevertheless, we have delivered. So with a quick recap on those, and the reason I do this at this point is because the best part of, across the Council and HDS, the best part of over 700 staff have worked day in, day out for the last 10 months to deliver these things to the benefit of residents. So the first, of course, 1.1 of our first priority, fixed council housing, being the backlog in housing repairs, because as of the 1st of June last year, we had in excess of 5,500 outstanding housing repairs. As of today, we have 14 outstanding repairs stood in that backlog. We are 99.8% clear of that backlog, and next week we are due to clear the entire backlog in housing repairs. But of course, there is no point in clearing the backlog if it just builds up again. And that is why we've reduced the average wait time, indeed the standard repair time, from 9 months in excess of 270 days down to 60 days already, and it will be coming down further to 30 days. Indeed, when it comes to void property turnaround, so empty homes, how quickly we turn those around. As of the 1st of June, that's sat at just below 60 days. Currently, we're working at 22 days against a target of 24 days. I would say that is quite an impressive difference. We have introduced something that many people have long lobbied for and was deemed to be absolutely impossible, and that is a tenancy audit programme, inspections of our council homes. That is a really important tool, both to ensure that our properties and the tenants are obliging to their tenancy agreement, but also that we are proactively reaching out to our in excess of 9,000 tenants to ensure that we are providing them with the service and support that they require. And we set a target as we ramp up to ensure that we get to a position where we inspect every council home every year. From a standing start, with no budget allocated at the time, to carry out 500 of these new tenancy audits. We have absolutely smashed that target, and I can sincerely commend particularly the supported housing team for their work in doing that. We've also made dramatic changes to the housing allocations policy, genuinely embracing and fixing council housing in my mind, ending some of the long injustices in our housing allocation system, genuinely moving to a situation that focuses on Harlow homes for Harlow people, giving added priority for those born and bred in Harlow, but also fundamentally at the heart of that is ensuring that if you are a Harlow resident that has lived in this town all your life and you are in housing need, it is easier for you to access a council home. That is a fundamental ideal that I thought everyone in this chamber would agree with, but as we know from the last cabinet meeting, that sadly was not the case. But something I'm sure we could all agree on was the desperate need for proper stock condition data, because it's no secret this council has not carried out proper stock condition survey of our council homes for many, many years, and as such, planned maintenance was not robustly enough done. As such, in October, we commenced what will be 100% internal external stock condition survey. Indeed, we have surpassed the target of the number of homes in this financial year to do that. So on our first priority of fixing council housing, I genuinely think whilst there is still a long way to go, we've done a pretty good job this year of turning the tide on some long-standing injustices. And I think all members on both sides of the chamber would want to sincerely commend the housing team particularly on that, and the team at HDS for their work, because they have done things this year that at the start of the year no one had asked them to do. But nevertheless, on all 5 of those things I've just set out, they have delivered. Which brings me on to our second priority of restoring pride in Harlow. And again, not just about the headline, but about some of the specific projects that the officers of this council have carried out. I'm sure the opposition would wish to thank them for and be enthused by The first of which being the radical changes to our landscape maintenance. And if you ever needed a clearer divide politically, you would see, of course, that one party wished to cut grass every 4 weeks, and this party wished to cut the grass every 10 working days, which summarise some of the changes we've made to our landscape maintenance programme. That's been, of course, to better maintenance of our allotments and our parks. We are making great progress. We are well on track to replace over 1,600 street name signs across the town that have been broken, bent, busted and everything in between for far too long. And coming off those street name signs, you will see continuing upgrades to the roundabouts, our 36 roundabouts in the town. You will also see work is already underway. I think an announcement is coming out at any time now about a significant programme of creating neighbourhood car parking. We all know what problem neighbourhood car parking is in the town, and this administration sought to change that, and as such is investing well in excess of £1.3 million into creating hundreds of new car parking spaces in our neighbourhoods, and there will be far more of that to come, although work is well underway. And of course we've seen some fantastic work in pilot projects of estate replanting, whether it be Lower Meadow, Barleycroft or 6 sheltered housing schemes, genuinely restoring pride in areas that have been neglected for far too long. Which brings me on, of course, to the town centre, because our third priority to rebuild our town has been genuinely rocket boosted this year. And whether it's town centre schemes getting on site, whether it's demolishing things, which of course I understand some people don't believe we should do, we should just build on the current site, which makes no sense whatsoever. You do have to demolish things before you build them. But nevertheless, you will see either schemes already on site or schemes literally in the next few weeks, whether it's April the 5th with Terminal Street at the bus station, Broad Walk this week, or anything else in between, getting on site, and genuinely that promise of town centre regeneration coming underway. We will hear far more later this evening about council house building, but we are on site to deliver over 103 council homes, exceeding our first phase target to do that this year. But of course, one thing that often is missed is the huge success that has been the Harlow Regeneration Partnership this year. Setting up a regeneration partnership in absolutely record time, with a business plan approved in record time, and now on site in record time delivering schemes. Indeed, so successful that other councils continue to contact us about that process as they wish to carbon copy it. Which brings me on to our fourth priority this year, secure investment into Harlow, which of course is encapsulated in the fact only 2 weeks ago we secured another £20 million towards town centre regeneration, on top of that which we've already secured. Work has finally been pushed along and is taking good shape into place branding and our Discover Harlow narrative, and really bringing that to life into a form which actually secures investment, which of course should be the test of that. We've produced and put in place proper plans to support local SMEs. We have, and again I think announcements coming shortly, not that I wish to predetermine those, but we have invested significantly into the innovation park and are attracting new businesses there for that venture. We've seen a cafe pop up that is now being fitted out, that's going to breathe new life into that park, spoil being removed and new businesses arriving too. Which brings me on, of course, onto our final priority of improving council services. And if you needed a litmus test of improving council services, I think being shortlisted for the most improved council in England is probably a pretty good one to do. Of course, not a celebration that another party could wish to boast, because this year we proposed to freeze council tax, and we did. We proposed to improve the service standards and inquiry response and action times across the council and HTS, and we have. We proposed to introduce for the first time ever in this council proper benchmarking, and my God, have we done that, and reform the way that decisions are taken to ensure efficient and transparent decision-making processes. So, to draw that to an end, we set out this year to deliver 5 priorities, and I'm extremely proud that we have. And yes, there is a downside more to do, which is why we set out a new corporate plan. But there is one accusation which I don't think can be suggested about Harlow Council this year, and that is that we have delivered on the priorities that we set out to deliver. You may not agree with them, but we have. And with that, I want to sincerely commend all of the portfolio holders and the Cabinet as a collective for the tireless work that has been done to do that, but more so every member of staff of this organisation that has worked tirelessly day in, day out to do that, because the work that they have done has made Harlow a marginally better place to be, and certainly on a trajectory to do that. I'm sure all members of the Chamber wish the Council well in the shortlisting award ceremony in June of the Local Government Chronicle Most Improved Council of the Year award. And with that, I will close my communications from the leader for this financial year.